Hey Virgo, let's see what's going on in your love life. This is a tarot love reading for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Virgo romantically. Now please keep in mind, these are general readings, Virgo, so they may or may not resonate, which is totally okay. You are more than welcome here to take what works for you and leave the rest. And just a quick reminder that if you'd like to get a personal reading, I do offer those through Etsy, and the link is in the description box below the video. So we're going to jump right into it today, Virgo, and we're going to see what could be coming towards you in love right now. First message coming out today from my lovely Virgo, we have got the Knight of Wands. Very fiery, passionate energy coming through. Maybe some of you guys are dealing with a fire sign, a Leo, Aries, or a Sagittarius. I definitely feel like there's some crazy chemistry between you and somebody, Virgo. There could be somebody who is pursuing you, somebody who's kind of, expressing their interest, flirting with you, feeling the vibe. Now, the interesting thing with the Knight of Wands is that it can definitely be a very fun and exciting energy. Sometimes it can be a little bit of energy of here for a good time, not a long time, but we'll see where it goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo right now. And then we've got the Four of Pentacles. Interesting. So I'm going to tell you what's coming to mind here, Virgo, okay? I am getting player vibes, all right? I said a moment ago, sometimes the Knight of Wands can be here for a good time, not a long time. Unfortunately, what I'm getting here as the message is that you might be involved with somebody who's in and out of your life. There's probably crazy passion and chemistry between the two of you, like off the charts. It's hot, But I also feel like this person won't commit to you. They keep their options open. Maybe you go through periods where you guys are hanging out a lot and then they disappear and then they come back around. Like I'm getting this energy here with the Four of Pentacles where maybe there's somebody who you're involved with, Virgo, and you have a lot of good moments, but they won't commit, but they also won't let you go. They kind of float in and out of your life in a way where you can't really move forward because you're always maybe waiting for them to commit, but they never do, but they also won't let you go. Let me know if that connects, you guys, because that's the vibe I'm getting. Let's get one more card for the overall energy today, please. Four of Wands. Interesting. So the Four of Wands is the 1111 card. It tends to indicate marriage and commitment. And so on the one hand, we've got energy to suggest somebody who is not committing. And then on the other hand, there is an energy of commitment. Like, I think it's really tough here because part of me wonders if you're holding out hope that one day you can have the Four of Wands with this person, right? So I get this energy sometimes where we're involved with somebody and they're not, let's say, emotionally available. They're not ready for what we want, but because we love them, because we've got the crazy chemistry, because it feels really good, essentially what we do is we hold out hope that things could change. And I guess what I'm trying to say here, Virgo, is I'm almost getting a little bit of energy of somebody who is falling in love with somebody because of their potential, but not actually because of how they're showing up right now, right? Because right now, I think this person is showing up in and out of your life, non-committal, and you're looking at it and you're like, but we have such great chemistry, so you're holding on to it. And I think they're holding on to you too, right? Like they probably, I'm going to say what came into my head. I'm getting booty call. Like I think they do hit you up when they want some physical affection. I don't know that they want commitment though, but you're maybe holding out to hope that one day, if you continue to casually see them, it will turn into something more. So this is potentially a bit of a challenging situation because I do see that maybe you and this person have very different expectations for what it is that you guys want, okay? That's the vibe I'm picking up on in the overall energy. So we're gonna explore this more. Let's look at this person and let's look at you, and maybe this can give us a bit more insight into what's going on. So we're gonna look at their overall energy, what they could be feeling, and what actions they could be taking. I will look at the same thing for you, Virgo, and then we'll look at the potential outcome because I'm very curious to see where this goes. All right, so tell me about this person who Virgo is involved with, please. Three of Wands, okay. I mean, Three of Wands is thinking ahead to the future. Tell me more about this person's energy. Queen of Wands, okay. If I can say anything about this reading so far, I'm definitely going to say that the two of you have a lot of passion. I am going to say as well, Virgo, with this Queen of Wands, don't worry about the gender, it's just the energy, right? This can be a very entrepreneurial energy. So sometimes I see the King or the Queen of Wands as somebody who's going out into the world, pursuing some sort of business idea, starting a business, doing something entrepreneurial, and they're quite visionary with that Three of Wands. And the interesting thing though is I'm almost getting this as a little bit of an excuse maybe for why they're not settling down. So they might be saying to you, Virgo, you know, I've been clear, I don't want a long-term relationship. I don't want any relationship right now because my focus is on my passion, my business, what I'm building for myself. And that may very well be true. In my opinion, this is not a tarot thing, but in my opinion, that's kind of a shitty excuse. That's just me, you guys. I'll tell you why. I think we make time for what's important to us, right? So when I get energy of somebody who's like making excuses for why they can't commit, I'm like, I don't know. If you really wanted to, you could, right? That's what I think. So I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of like, sure, they might be doing cool shit and like starting a business and all this stuff, but like it almost feels like they might use it as an excuse a little bit for why they're not like settling down or committing. Tell me more about this person's energy right now, please. The Hermit, yeah. It's kind of like there's passion and then they go cold. This is Virgo energy, by the way, so you could be dealing with another Virgo. And that's kind of what I've been picking up on. I feel like when the two of you are together, it's actually really great. Like that, honestly, you guys, I think when the two of you have your time together, it feels really good. And I think that's why you're probably looking at it and you're like, but we're so good together. Like, why wouldn't they want a relationship? Why wouldn't they want commitment? And the thing is, they might not be available for that. And that usually doesn't have anything to do with you, Virgo. It's more about them and where they're at. But I do think that you have really good moments. But then to me, with the Hermit, I'm kind of getting the energy of they then go into Hermit mode. They disappear. They go cold. You don't hear from them. And then you're kind of left in the dark. Tell me what they could be feeling right now, please. Page of Swords, okay. Page of Swords is a curious energy. Tell me more about what they could be feeling. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm getting keeping their options open. I think the reason I'm getting that message, Virgo, is because Page of Swords is someone who's like curious, going out, asking people questions. Like I'm getting a little bit of a vibe of them going out, meeting new people, flirting with new people. Ace of Pentacles about new beginnings, new opportunities. It's like always looking for the next best thing, you know, instead of appreciating what they have in front of them. They're like, okay, what's next? What's the next new shiny thing with that Ace of Pentacles? What else could they be feeling right now, please? The Devil. The Devil, you guys, okay? That is toxic energy. That basically confirms what I've been saying here, where I'm like, look, you guys might have an amazing time. And I really do think you do. I don't know why, Virgo. Like I'm really getting the energy of when you guys are together and focused on each other, it's like magic, but then it's not magic the rest of the time. And that's a problem, right? Because if you're with somebody and it's like, when it's good, but then all the rest of the other time you're feeling anxiety, that's not great in my opinion, you know? And I feel like the Devil in your person's feelings very clearly to me, Virgo, is like screaming emotional unavailability, okay? The Devil energy can be toxic, it can be unhealthy, it can be emotionally unavailable, it can be somebody who keeps their options open, is dating multiple people. And like, here's the thing, you guys, if you want to date this person casually, I don't see any problem with this, right? There is nothing wrong with a casual connection, but there is a problem when one person wants more. And that's what I'm potentially seeing here is like, you might not be saying it, but I feel like you're maybe secretly hoping that this casual connection could turn into something long-term, because that's kind of what we saw in the overall energy. The Devil is not known for being that committed, secure energy, right? So we're seeing the challenges here with this person. What actions could they be taking right now, please? The Emperor, again, a very work-focused energy. I really think they fall back on this when you're like, can we spend more time together? And then, you know, maybe things feel like they're getting a little bit too close and they're like, no, I got to work this weekend. I got to focus on work. I just keep getting work being used as an excuse. What other actions could they be taking? King of Pentacles, making money, building their empire, okay? This person might be quite wealthy. I will say that, Virgo, like this could definitely be somebody who's doing very well financially. Like the material side of things is really good. Tell me more about what actions they're taking. King of Wands, okay? These are all those energies about like starting a business, making money, building resources. It's kind of funny because it's what I was saying earlier where I'm like, that's kind of where your person is taking action. That's what they're focused on, right? They're like so focused on building this empire. But again, I would argue that even if you're building an empire, it doesn't mean you can't date or be in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to highlight this, Virgo, because I almost feel maybe there's a little bit of a message here where it's like, be honest with yourself, right? Because if they kind of feed you this excuse and they're like, well, I can't commit, or I won't commit because I'm too busy, like kind of check in with yourself. Like, does that make sense, right? I don't know, you guys. I just feel like they're trying to sell you a story to kind of keep you on the hook with that Four of Pentacles. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's more that they're not emotionally available, right? So that's what I think you have to look at. It's like, what is the real reason they're not committing? Because if you're like, oh, well, they just said they're so busy, so maybe when they're not busy, we'll be together. I mean, sure. But if the real issue is that they're not emotionally available, that's a different kind of issue, right? And like I said, the Knight of Wands can definitely give player vibes. So maybe it's also just this person doesn't want to settle down. They want to sow their wild oats, you know? That's their prerogative. But I think that you just need to recognize that so you know what you're dealing with. To me, it's all about knowing what you're dealing with, right? If that's what you're dealing with, then you can go into it with open eyes. But I just worry a little bit because the overall energy was kind of suggesting that you're holding out hope for the potential of what could happen. And I just think that could be a dangerous place to be because when we're holding out for the potential, it might never materialize. That's always the risk with it, right? Okay, so let's look at your energy. Tell me about Virgo, Six of Pentacles, okay? So here's what I'm getting as the message, you guys. Six of Pentacles is a card of give and take. It can sometimes represent an imbalance within a relationship. The first thing that came to mind immediately when I pulled the Six of Pentacles is that you're probably the one who's been putting in a lot of the effort. You're probably the one who does sweet things for them and plans things, and I'm getting a lopsided dynamic. I think you're investing a lot more, and I don't know that they're necessarily investing the same. Tell me more about Virgo's energy. Okay. But the challenge is you love them. You have these big feelings for them with the Queen of Cups, right? I get it. It's super hard. This is a tough situation, you guys, when you've got these big feelings for somebody, but they're not available for what it is that you're ultimately hoping for. But I do think the Queen of Cups is saying like, yeah, I mean, you've definitely fallen for this person. Tell me more, please, about Virgo's energy. The Tower. But then it all comes crashing down. I'm sorry, you guys, not to sound super dramatic, right? I think, unfortunately, there could be something happening around this time that's gonna bring things kind of crashing down. I'm sorry, you guys. The Tower is big energy. It sounds so dramatic, but that's kind of what it is. And I just feel there could be something happening around this time where you're a person, the words I'm getting are they do something that devastates you, you know? It's like they tell you, I'm gonna tell you what's coming to mind. They tell you they can't be with you in a relationship. And then a few days later, you see a picture on Instagram of them with their arms around somebody and it looks, you know, like they're like dating or whatever, you know? And you're like devastated because you're like, I thought you didn't want that. So why is there stuff on social media where you're kind of, you know, flirting and seeming like you're with somebody when you told me you didn't want that? I think the Tower is saying, prepare yourself that there could be something unexpected that happens, something unexpected that's revealed, a huge shakeup here, Virgo. And here's the thing. The Tower can be tough energy. It does break things down, but honestly, you guys, it usually breaks down things that were not solid to begin with, right? So if you guys had a solid base to your connection, the Tower might rattle it a little bit, but it's usually not going to totally break it down. But if that relationship was not built on solid ground, it's going to crumble when the Tower energy comes in. And I just feel like there could be some sort of Tower moment here where you find out something, and I just keep getting the word devastating. Like, it could also be, this is the kind of energy where you and this person are kind of casually, you know, hanging out, and then you don't see them for like a couple months, and you're like, okay, that's just our pattern, whatever, they're focusing on work. And then you go on social media and you see they're engaged to somebody. Like that kind of wild behavior, right? And then you're heartbroken. Alrighty, let's see what Virgo could be feeling. The World. You do feel a lot of happiness with them. Like I do think you have a lot of positive feelings associated with them. The World can be about happiness and fulfillment. But it's kind of funny to say that though, because I feel like on the surface, you're saying, oh, it's so happy and fulfilling, but like we're also looking at somebody who probably doesn't commit to you. So you might just be choosing to cherry pick what you focus on. I get it. We've all been there. It's like you're choosing to focus on the like good stuff, but maybe ignoring all of the potential challenges as well. Because yeah, I mean, it sucks to have to look at that. I get it, right? Tell me more about what Virgo could be feeling. The Hierophant. Yeah, I definitely think you're hoping for commitment. This is the marriage card of the tarot, you know, especially with the Four of Wands. That's what I was saying earlier, where I'm like, are you holding out hope that one day they could be who you want them to be and that you guys could get married? Tell me more about what you could be feeling. Yeah, but guess what? You're at a crossroads because your person is not committing to you. The Two of Swords is like, you're stuck, right? You want commitment with this person, but it's not going anywhere with that Two of Swords. And you're probably in this tough energy right now, Virgo, where your head is telling you one thing about the connection and your heart is telling you another, right? And so I think what your heart is telling you with that Queen of Cups is, I love them. It feels so good to be with them. You know, maybe they'll wake up one day and see it. But then your head is probably like, I don't know, they're not committing. They don't show up. They don't pull their weight. They're not putting in effort, right? You could be in a bit of a crossroads right now, feeling a bit stuck, right? Tell me what actions Virgo could be taking. Seven of Cups. Yeah, confused, right? It almost feels like as we're getting into your energy, clarity is coming for you. I don't think it's going to be easy. Like, I think you're starting to maybe see the truth of what's going on here. And like I said, your person might even do something that causes a tower moment. And you're like, I don't get it. Again, I'm getting the energy of like, you were casually seeing this person for like, you know, I'm getting a time frame, 6 months to 3 years. I don't know, you guys. So maybe some of you have been like hooking up, casually seeing this person with, you know, between 6 months to 3 years for whatever reason. That's the timeline I'm getting. I think I'm getting that timeline because I'm like, for some of you, it's been a while. Like, I don't think this was just a one night stand. I think for some of you, you've been doing this for a while with this person. And the whole time you've been thinking like, okay, once they're ready to commit, I'm the one they're going to commit to. And then you find out that they're dating somebody else or engaged to somebody else. And you're like heartbroken and you're so confused because you're like, I always thought that when they were ready to commit, that I was the one that they were going to commit to. This could be a hard truth kind of energy, Virgo. Let's see what other actions you could be taking. Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is fighting for something. It almost feels like your first reaction is going to be to try to fight for this connection. Tell me more about what actions Virgo could be taking. The Wheel of Fortune. Because you feel like you're meant to be together. This is a bit of a doozy today, Virgo. My heart definitely goes out to you if you're connecting with this energy today, because if I'm being quite frank with you, I think you fell head over heels for somebody who just can't give you what you deserve and what you need. You know, and that's a tough place. Again, I think a lot of us have been there at one point, and you're looking at it and you're like, but I feel we're meant to be together. But when you actually look at the actions of what your person is doing, are they proving to you they want to be with you or not, right? Like, I think sometimes it's easy to kind of hold on to this. It's more like this idea that we build up about somebody, you know, it kind of fits with the idea of falling in love with the potential. And I think that maybe you've even built up this idea of who this person is in your head, but you're maybe not seeing the full truth of their behavior, right? Like, instead of thinking about what they could be or the potential, actually look at the cold hard facts of their behavior right now. What do their actions suggest about what they are able and willing to give you at this point, right? And sometimes we have to be willing to step away from the illusion and see the reality of what's really in front of us. Okay, let's see what the potential outcome is within this situation, please. King of Swords. I mean, maybe you guys end up having an honest conversation. Tell me more about the potential outcome here. King of Cups. Got a lot of king energy. We got all the kings coming out in the reading today. And then the Seven of Wands, yeah. So I do think what the outcome could be suggesting here is that there is an honest conversation that maybe happens between you and your person. And perhaps you try to lay it out on the line and be open about your feelings with that King of Cups. But I honestly feel with that Seven of Wands, it's like your person is blocked, right? they've got a shield in front of them, Virgo. I think no matter how much you tell them you love them, no matter how clearly you express how you feel and what you want, you know, I think sometimes we fall into this illusion that if we just love somebody enough, like they're going to love us back, and it just doesn't always work out that way. And I'm not trying to sound super harsh, you guys. I think what I'm getting from this reading is like needing to see the reality of what's happening. Because if you're going to your person and you're opening up with that King of Cups because you're in love with them and you're telling them how you feel, and then they're just like shutting you down, they've got their guard up, they're not open, they're not receiving it. It goes back to what I said a few minutes ago where I'm like, what are you actually seeing like in their behavior and what they want and in their actions and what they're telling you? So the energy today I feel is almost like a bit of advice for you, Virgo, if you're resonating with it. I feel that you have fallen for somebody. And like I said, I do think you guys have had some really good moments, but I think that there is a misalignment in terms of what the two of you want. And this might be suggesting that you're starting to see the truth of the situation. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's probably going to be quite painful. And that's why my heart goes out to you, because it sucks when you're in a situation like this. But I do feel like the Tower energy is suggesting that something is really going to get shaken up in a way that's maybe going to allow you to see the truth of what's going on here. It might be a hard pill to swallow, but at the end of the day, my opinion here, you deserve somebody who is head over heels in love with you, Virgo, and someone who's obsessed with you. I get that you love this person, but like, imagine what love could feel like with someone who totally reciprocates it, right? And you might not be able to see that right now. And if things don't work out with you guys, you're probably going to need some time to kind of heal and grieve that. But it's about trusting and knowing that there will be better for you out there. That's what I see. That's what I'm getting as the messages today for you guys. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Virgo. If this resonated with you, do me a solid, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. If you'd like to get a personal reading, I offer those through Etsy, and the link is in the description box below the video. And of course, I wish you love and I wish you happiness, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.